Women and Imperialism by Zara Kelly. Debates over American imperialism revolved around extra than simply politics and economics and country-wide self-interest. They additionally covered notions of humanitarianism, morality, religion, and thoughts of civilization, and they covered great participation through American girls. In the autumn of 1903, Margaret McLeod, aged 21 at the beginning of Boston, observed herself in Australia on own circles of relatives, commercial enterprise, and in want of income. Fortuitously, she made the acquaintance of Alexander McWillie, the pinnacle salesman of the H.J. Heinz Company, who passed off to be seeking out a younger woman to function as a demonstrator of Heinz merchandise to ability customers. McLeod proved to be such an appealing purveyor of India take pleasure in baked beans that she observed McWillie at the relaxation of his excursion of Australia and endured directly to South Africa, India, and Japan. Wherever she went, this dainty younger woman with golden hair and white cap and tucker drew interest to Heinz merchandise. However, in a Mao's large sense, she changed into additionally projecting and photo of middle elegance, American domestically, of natural womanhood. Heinz noticed itself now no longer handiest of purveying low in cost and wholesome foodstuffs. It changed into bringing the advantages civilization to the world. When commentators, inclusive of Theodore Roosevelt in his speech, The Strenuous Life, spoke about America's foreign ventures, they usually appeared that this changed into a strictly masculine enterprise. The paintings of soldiers, sailors, authorities officials, explorers, businessmen, and scientists. But in fact, U.S. imperialism, which entered as much on monetary and cultural impact as on army or political power, supplied a number of possibilities for white middle-elegant Christian girls. In addition to operating as representatives of American commercial enterprise, girls ought to function as missionaries, teachers, and clinical professionals. As artists and writers, they have been stimulated through and help transmit thoughts about imperialism. Moreover, the rhetoric of civilization that they underlay imperialism changed into itself a notably gendered concept. According to the racial idea of day, people improve via hierarchical ranges of civilization in an orderly, linear fashion. Only Europeans and Americans had attained the very best degree of civilization, which changed into superficially marked through whiteness. However, additionally covered in commercial economic system as a gender department wherein ladies and men in diverging, however, complementary roles. Social and technological development had freed girls of the burdens of bodily hard work and manipulated them to a role of ethical and non-secular authority. White girls, therefore, probably had essential roles to play in imperialism, each as symbols of blessings of American civilization and as motors for the transmission of American values. Civilization, at the same time, as regularly cloaked within the language of morality and Christianity, changed into very plenty of monetary concepts. The ranges of civilization had been in most cases marked through their monetary character, hunter-gatherer, agricultural, commercial, and the intake of heavily produced commodities changed into visible as a key second within the deployment of savages closer to civilized life. Over the path of the 17th centuries, girls within the West, for instance, had turned out to be carefully related to intake, in particular of these commodities used within the home sphere. Thus, it has to have been regards of the herbal Alexandria McWillie to Lise Margaret McLeod to demonstrate ketchup and chili sauce on the same time as she demonstrated white middle-aged domesticity. By adopting the usage of such modern merchandise in their homes, customers ought to probably take in even the virtues of American civilization. In a few ways, girls' paintings in aid of imperialism may be visible as an extension of the sort of sports a lot of them have been already engaged in amongst operating elegant, immigrant, and Native American groups within the United States. Many white girls felt that they'd be an obligation to the unfold blessings of Christian civilization to the ones much less lucky than themselves. American Foreign Places ventures then simply improved the scope of those sports. Literally, in that the geographical variety of opportunities encompassed nearly the complete globe, and figuratively in that imperialism appreciably raised the stakes of the girls' paintings. No longer handiest answerable for shaping the following era of American citizens, white girls now had the vital position to play inside the protection of civilization itself. They, too, might assist in deciding whether or not civilization might retain development. Of course, now no longer all girls have been energetic supporters of U.S. imperialism. Many are actively antagonistic about it. Although the maximum outstanding public voices towards imperialism have been male, girls made up a big percentage of the club of business, just like the Anti-Imperialist League. For white girls like Jane Addams and Josephine Shaw Lowell, anti-imperialist activism changed into an outgrowth in their paintings in competition to violence in aid of democracy. Black girl activists, meanwhile, usually considered imperialism as a shape of racial antagonism and drew parallels among the remedies of African American at home and, for example, Filipinos abroad. Indeed, Ida B. Wells considered her anti-lynching marketing campaign as a result of anti-imperialist activism.